FXN, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And I get a lot of messages, guys, from you asking about back testing videos. So what we do is every Sunday, we do a live back testing session along with analysis for our mentoring group and also FXN Plus. So if you guys want to have access to that or want to do that with me literally every Sunday, then FXN Plus is going to be for you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share with you one of the back testing sessions that we did do together. And I think a lot of people just want to know, what are my thoughts when it comes to back testing? What do I think about? What am I looking for when I'm doing these back testing sessions? So this gives you that insight as to what I'm looking for, what I'm thinking about at that particular time as I'm looking at charts as they are developing. So hopefully this will bring you a lot of value for you watching this video, guys. Please, if you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, guys. And without further ado, let's get this started. All right, so how do we figure out where we are right now? What's the first thing to do if we're trying to figure out where we are right now?
For the closest peak formation, high or low?
Right, we look for the closest peak formation, high or low, right? So the closest one is going to be here, right? And so if we look at this closest cycle, let's say if we call it even a cycle here, we have it's averaging around, let's say 55 or so ADR. So a 55, that means we're looking somewhere around 165 or so for a new peak or whatnots, right? So theoretically speaking, we're already over 3 times ADR on this one. So very likely that we can get a cycle here. Let's do this. Let's play this out so we can get a new cycle at least. Here. If we look, yeah, so we'll do this. We'll do this, and then we'll call this a reset. That's what it is. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, it does.
All right, cool. And then what we'll do is we'll play out the rest of this week, and then we'll go from there. All right, so now let's go out to 54. What is that? 170. Okay, so that's right there, almost a full. That should be another cycle right there. And where's the other one? Cool. So everybody good of where we are right now on this cycle here?
Yeah.
Right. Looks like we're coming off a brand new peak formation, so that's good. So what is our What's our bias?
No.
Bias is
Else,
to look for sells, right? Yeah. So our bias is to look for sells. Okay, so we're only interested in looking for sells, especially coming off of a brand new peak formation. Okay, so brand new peak formation, we're looking for sells. Let's go down to the 15-minute time frame, and hopefully our boxes show up. Yeah. All right, so if we're looking for only sells, do you guys see anything yet?
Tech 2.
You think that's a type
It
2 there?
seems that way, but there wasn't sufficient pullback, I think, after that star.
Yeah, I don't see, I see this as a possible second leg. The problem is that there's no real first leg to begin with, unless you're counting this as a first leg. And if you're counting this as the first leg, you don't have one, two, three, four. You don't have enough, at least for me, to create a second leg of if you're looking for like a second leg of um, five or more. You know what I mean?
Sorry, so Mark, is it possible for the first leg to be in the Asian session? That first where it touches the top of the Asian session. That's how I was looking at it. Sorry.
Yeah. So you're looking at it um, like what, this right here?
Yes,
So you're looking at it like this.
correct.
Okay, gotcha. Well, if you're looking at it like this, then theoretically speaking, that should be your entry there. Should it not?
Well, for me, I mean, because we didn't get a proper pullback, and I think this, if I'm gonna put the stop loss to the top of the London box, I think it would be too big of a stop loss. So I would have preferred a pullback to probably midway that candle.
Yeah. So, yeah, the trader would have to look something like this, basically going to the 800. Because, there is no pullback on that next candle. So it would have to be a trade like that.
Um,
So would that be a trade for you?
no,
No. Would that be a trade for anybody else?
if you went to a 5 minute or a 1 minute chart, and if it showed the pattern clearly, you could have gotten in at the top if it showed it.
Yeah. So let's see.
Or just leave a limit order.
Or yeah, it's true. You could do a limit order. That way, if it does come back, I mean, the limit order would be somewhere probably up here or something, and then that would be the trade setup would look way different. Because on a limit order, it would probably look somewhere like that. You know, but again, you got to remember as well that this doesn't move a lot of pips anyway. So we're not talking 30 pips. We're talking about like literally 15 pips on a 2 to 1. So let's say you put in a buy limit order here. That would be a more reasonable um, trade if you do it off of off of some type of a buy limit where price has to come back to get you back in or not. I do believe that this would be probably way better on a 5-minute chart. I don't want to go to a 5-minute chart because it might reset the whole chart to begin with. But very well could be a well better scenario like on a 5-minute chart. But let's see what happens here. So there's that would hit your buy limit order there, or sell limit order, I'm sorry, and get you into the trade. So you're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So back here on this candle would be your 6th candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So on this candle here, you'd have a choice of either just getting out of the trade because it clearly didn't hit your stop loss or your take profit, and you're not in substantial profit anyways. So you could use the 6 candle rule here in effect and take you out of the trade basically at break even. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Now this right here to me is interesting because this is a nice pattern here for the beginning of the New York session. With this could be a railroad track, but I'm looking at it more of a bigger picture of a dual star pattern here that's pinning to the 50. Now I'm kind of curious as to where is, yeah, the TDI is also off the 50 as well. Question is where, if you could take this to the 800, that's close to 2.5 on that. Would anybody have looked at this as a possible trade?
Possibly, because you have the 50 also stopping price from breaking out of that.
Yeah. So
area.
here are the things that for me that makes sense, right? The thing for me that makes sense is that your directional bias, you're going with your directional bias is 1. 2 is you do have a pattern being a type 3 pattern there at the beginning of the New York session that's in the box. After that, you're pinning to the 50. So that's 3. And then you can use potentially the 800 as a take profit. And you're only risking, what are you risking? You're risking 9 pips to find out. So
Wouldn't you want to pull back with that too?
I mean, yeah, if you get a pullback, it'd be even better. It would be even better if you get a pullback, yeah. But I mean, it's 9 pip. It's well within your, well within the risk there. You know what I mean? If you get a pullback on the next candle, that'd be great, though. You don't really get a pullback, though, But the reason I'm thinking of this specific thing is, number one, the pattern that you get within it at the timing of it, but also you really didn't get, if you look at what happened in London session, you didn't really do anything. So a lot of times when you don't do anything in London, the move comes in New York. I mean, funny enough, this right here is a freaking. You can use that as a quarter wood to take that back up to the 50. Watch this go back up. Does this go back up to the 50? That would be like another trade right here. That's almost a 2-to-1 right there, going back up to the 50, where it's known to just go sideways. Look at that, just right there, and it's sideways, sideways, sideways. All right, so what is this, Tuesday, next day? Yeah, going into Tuesday. And still looking for more sells. All right, so I mean, automatically, based on where price is going, what's your only option?
Type 1.
Type 1, right? It's the only option you have for a setup. All right, so this right here could very well be the first leg. It's already pinning to the 200 already. Right there. Anybody see that as a second leg?
Definitely.
Yes.
Can I see the TDI mark?
It's at 60. What is that? 61 or no, 63. And this second leg is actually higher, but it's lower on the TDI, so you have divergence there too. So what would be the setup here? Where would you go to? I mean, that right there would be your setup. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
The only thing that you don't have, I mean, realize you don't have the TDI like all the way up here where you would want it to be. You do have some divergence on it, but honestly, that's like the only thing that's missing. You have the directional bias, you have the pattern, you have the second leg pattern, you have it pinning to an EMA, you can get it 2-to-1 on a risk to reward ratio and take it to another EMA. So a lot of things are in good stuff here. All right, so it's Tuesday going into Wednesday now. Now I think it's even pretty interesting in the sense of we've gotten this major pullback up now, where we can really see that it's starting to really move sideways, you know? But we're still looking for more sells. Does anybody see anything?
Could be type 4.
Type 4, yeah. I mean, this is a railroad track here. Ideally, I mean, honestly, the type 4s that I would like to see typically happen coming out of like this and then doing that. This is I don't know, this is a little bit different because theoretically it did tag the top here, you know, and then it just came down again. I think I know that on a 5-minute chart, this looks way better on a 5-minute chart than it would on a 15-minute chart. As far as being a type 4, where would you? I mean, the entry would have to be here on this previous, right after this railroad track here, and same thing. It's like a 9 pip. Make it a 10 pip risk to go where? Where could you go to? To go to the previous days. You can make it a 2-to-1 to go down to the previous days or previous weeks, beginning of the week's low, to make it a 2-to-1. Now, would that be a viable trade to you guys?
Personally, I wouldn't take it. No.
You would not take it. Would anybody take this trade here?
Yeah, I would have been in the trade,
Okay.
but I would have been in on the smaller time frame. I just used the 15-minute for the levels and then the 1 minute for the entry.
Yeah. That'd be a good second leg right there. All right, so it's Wednesday going into Thursday now. So far, how far have we moved? Okay, so only about 100 and some odd pips. I wish I would have been in the box. That would have been a good second leg here. This is right at 7:15 though. So what's the only option here for setup in the New York session then?
Continuation.
In what direction?
Continue to sell.
Continue to sell. What's the purpose of a continuation trade, right? It's to continue whatever happens in the London session. Well, the problem for me on a continuation trade, right, is if I'm looking for a continuation to continue this down, like this move here, this whole M here, really should have been more deeper, and then the pullback is what makes this a continuation trade, right? So when I look at this, and I don't see, this took a long time to form. Okay, so because of this took a long time to form, it doesn't give you any kind of space to do a continuation trade. Like if this were to be a good continuation trade, it would have done like this, and then you would have had a pullback like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like this, the second leg would have been in the London session, and then the pullback happens, right here, and then at 8:30 or somewhere around there, you're all the way up here now. You retraced a lot of that movement back, and a lot of times that retracement, you can literally take a fib from the top to the bottom, and that retracement like damn near goes to the 618. the way I'm looking at this is I'm looking at it as a possible reversal because of the fact that I have this here. I have all the EMAs are here. You didn't get a really big move, you know, as like a type 2 here. So you're not at the middle of this. You're not here. You're more of. I'm looking for that possibly. And the only reason that I'm even thinking about this is the fact that because in US sessions, you have the ability to trade reversals. Typically, this wouldn't be the typical reversal because reversals would come down here and tag the 50 and go sideways. But the only real option that you would have here would be to have a reversal trade. The question is, do you even have a reversal trade to begin with? Does anybody see a reversal trade here? All right, what is this? Friday. So basically, we've done nothing but basically move sideways the whole week. Back and forth, back and forth. If this pullback, if this behavior here, if this pullback would have been to the bottom here, that would have been a good type 4. When you compare it, this is what I'm talking about with what you would want from a type. The start of a type 4 would be like this, and then just give you one pullback to the bottom and then down. So nothing on Friday. So what do we end up getting for that week there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was a break even. So I would say 3 trades and 1 break even. 3 wins and 1 break even. That make sense to everybody?
Sure, it does.
All right. All right, guys, so I hope that you got a lot of value from that back testing session. Again, if you like these sessions, come join us on FXN Plus. We're actually doing 28 pairs now on FXN Plus for levels. So we're pretty much doing all of the major pairs. So all of these pairs that you see on my list here to the right, we're all doing all those pairs. We've added NZD and AUD pairs. Again, if you want to see what my directional bias is right before each session, I give you a screenshot literally of all of the pairs so you know exactly what I'm looking for, what directional bias I'll be looking for that session. So guys, come and join us on FXN Plus. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Trade safe and trade consistently. Guys, if you need any more help, join us on FXN Plus. It's available right now on fxntrading.com. You'll get a lot of different value from FXN Plus. For example, blueprint videos, 9 sessions, 14 hours long, over 100 hours right now of group session videos from the past 2 years. Over 100 hours we're up to right now on these sessions. You also get weekly sessions every Sunday. Ask as many questions as you want. I actually give a weekly analysis during those sessions, and I also give a midweek analysis that I put up on the website for everyone to see as well. You get access to the MT4 and MT5 indicators that everyone asked for. That's how you get access to them. Private group, trading plan, custom trading journal. I mean, everything you could possibly want is on FXN Plus. Guys, join us there. If you need any more help, we'll be more than happy to help you. We'll see you on FXN Plus.